Hello, and in this one, I want to show you how to get a portable Arch Linux distribution. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like on the video, and let's get straight into it. Now, the way we will be doing this is a bit interesting. So here's the hardware I am using. This is the SSD I'm using. It's an integral SSD. Now, as far as I have using it, didn't have any failures yet, and I have installed like OS multiple times on it, so it's pretty solid. Then we have this thing right here. It's basically an USB to SATA converter. Now make sure it is USB 3 or you won't get the full speed out of it. And with these two things, I can get up to 400 megabytes per second. So it's pretty nice. And if you get this right here, you can actually use any SSD you have. You can even use hard drives if you have them. So it is pretty flexible if you use this tool. But if you want a more compact system, you can actually get something like a portable hard drive or portable SSD. But I would recommend going for an SSD, although they are a bit on the expensive side. If you want a reliable system, I would recommend going with a SSD. But I'll try to link all of this as an affiliate link on the description below. So you guys can get all of these things which I'm using, and they are fairly affordable. So you don't have to like break a bank to get your system to work. Now, step one, I'm on Windows, which is great because it's easier on Windows, trust me. But if you are on Linux, it's still not that different from like doing this on Windows. I'll just show you what you need to do. First, get VirtualBox. And to get VirtualBox, you can actually just let me just open up a browser. And I don't think I need to show you guys how to do this, but I'll just give you a quick reminder. You can search for VirtualBox here and then go to the website right here. Click on download or go here, it doesn't matter, and just click on Windows host. And again, if you are on Linux, just click on here, Linux distribution. It will give you all the Linux version that is supported. And for Arch Linux, it is on the AOR, so you don't have to worry about it. Also, I have a video on how to get it on Arch, so don't worry about it. Now, you just click on this, it will start the download. Now, I already have this downloaded, I don't want it again. So there we go, I close it. Now we just have to open VirtualBox. And before we do anything, here's what you need to do. First, open up Disk Manager. Or again, for Linux, just make sure you go in here, and as you can see, the disk that I will be using is not showing up here. So this is a disk that is being used. So as you can see, it says disk 5 and the whole thing is unallocated. This is also unallocated. This is another drive that I have. But again, that's not the point. This is an unallocated storage. So make sure you right click on here and make sure to right click on here if you have it partitioned and just delete the partition. Or you can actually just open up a terminal. In case you're wondering how I got this terminal, you can check out the last video that I made. Anyway, if you are on terminal, you can do disk part. So let me just, oh my god, it's too big. Disk part. So this is the command you need, and then it will open up this tool right here. So what you got to do here is just do list disk. So there you go. And as you can see, it says disk 5. So this is the drive that we want. And what we can do is select disk. There we go. Sorry, select disk 5 and it will select that disk. And all we have to do is, clean. My bad. We can do clean and it will actually delete the whole drive. As you can see, it even says that it's not initialized, which is actually true. This is even better because if you want to do a GPT partition, you can also do that. So we'll keep it at that. So make sure to clean the drive and it will delete the partition as well as uninitialize the drive and remove it from the Windows partition. Do the same thing like with Linux and basically just format the drive and make sure it is unmounted. Now with that out of the way, go to your VirtualBox and just add a new drive. And then once you are in here, we can do portable, let's just say portable Arch. And then you can see it automatically detects the type and subtypes and everything. So, and we'll select the ISO. So go get your Arch ISO right here. And again, I don't think I have to show you how to get this ISO. You can literally just go to like Arch Linux download and download the ISO from there. It's pretty straightforward. So, and also if you are watching this video, I would assume you are pretty professional at this. You know what? I don't trust you guys. I'll just show you what to do. Just go to open up a browser and then in the browser just search for Arch Linux download and you should see this link right here. Click on this. So you should see a website like this. It should be white as heck for you, but I'm using dark reader, so I'm not blinded. And also for this fonts as well, it's for the dark reader. I will have it in Comic Sans. Don't question it. And just scroll down at the bottom, and in here just select whichever server you want. As you can see, there is a lot in here, so whichever one is closest to you, or if you find the specific your specific country, get it from there. It will give you the fastest download speed. So now again, back to the topic. We have Arch Linux, we have it here, and then this one we don't need hardware. Just give it a bit of hardware. It will work on 2 gigabytes, but I just like to give it 8. So there you go. We'll give 4 cores and 8 gigabytes. And this is the part where I would say VirtualBox is really shines, is you can actually enable or disable UEFI depending on if you want to install it for a UEFI system or a legacy system. So if you want it for a legacy system, you can uncheck this, but if you don't want it for UEFI, you can just enable it. And then as for hard drive, we don't want any hard drive. Make sure to select it as do not add any hard drive, because we have a hard drive. Now you may be wondering, well, where the heck is our hard drive? Why we didn't connect it yet? Well, now we will connect it right now. So you can see, just go through here. We can just you can see you can add TPMs and stuff. You can have secure boot. So if you want to have a secure boot setup, you can also set it up here. But I won't recommend it. Just enable 3D acceleration, so we have a better time in the desktop environment. Then just scroll down, and then if you don't have this menu right here, just make sure to put it in the expert mode, because yeah, we are professionals out here. Now as you can see, we have this, but we also have this. So what we have to do is change the type for this to USB. So yeah, you actually need to do this, or else it won't recognize the USB as a drive. So I'll just enable this, and then for this it is enabled. So and then scroll down a bit more, and you can actually even do audio input, so to check if your mic works, but we'll leave it alone for now. Then I'll just pick USB 3 controller, click on this button right here, and then select your USB drive. Now make sure you find your drive first. So I have a lot of things downloaded, but this is my drive. So there we go. It is now connected. So, and if this says unknown, it won't work. So make sure it says something. So there we go. That should be the basic configuration of it. Hit OK. And now we can power it on. So if you hear this Windows sound that something is disconnected, that is a good sign. Now let me just make this full screen, so we get the full Arch install experience. Just click on this. We will get through the Arch setup. It's pretty straightforward. Like, it's actually the same as installing it on an actual hard drive. The difference being is that we're just doing it in a portable one. So that's great for Archness. You don't need to do any finagling. You don't need to do any type of complex configurations. It will just work. To prove it to you guys that it just works, I will not do a manual install. I'll do it with the script. So let me do set font tar-124b. Make it a bit larger. So we have it here. If I do arch install, and this is mostly to show you that you don't need anything fancy to make it, I would say, portable. But again, stick around till the end so I can show you that it actually works. So there you go. Now I'll just again quickly configure this. So give me a moment. Oh wait, I'll just show it to you that if I go to disk configuration, partitioning, and I'll just go to the top one, and you can see it shows us that 240 gigabytes SATA SSD. So it recognized the device. So we'll select on that. We'll go with ext4. We don't want a home partition, and that's it. You can do encryption and stuff, whatever, however you like to configure it. It's all up to you. We can do swap, bootloader. Instead of systemd, I like to do it grub because it's easier to configure. Again, hostname, we'll leave everything as is. I'll just add a user. Yes, it will be super user, confirm, profile. And I would like to do a full desktop. Whoa, it got updated. Where is KDE? There we go. We have KDE now. So there you go. I want to go with KDE because yeah, it just works. Audio, pipewire should be great. Kernels, Linux. I like to get LTS, so that's something. Network configuration. So for network configuration, if you're using KDE Plasma, I would recommend you go with this one. Cause yeah, it will it's way easier to configure it, because since this is a portable system, you will probably just have it multiple systems. So it's better to have it there. And then for additional packages, this is for in case you don't use KDE or anything. Here are a few packages that you should get. First is Network Manager. There you go, get Network Manager. And other than that, you can get Firefox. So we can go with Firefox. So there you go. And then we can also get, I'll just get NeoVim, because why not? And what else? I'll get Git too. And then base/devel. I like to get this because for AUR obviously. And that's about it. I don't want anything else. I do want ZSH. Might as well get it. And what else is there? Am I missing something? I don't care anymore. That's the basic things that we need. Time zone. Again, configure everything however you need it. So now I'll just install the system. That's it. Yes, we would like to continue. And while this installed, I would like to take a moment to tell you that if you got this far into the video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what is your favorite desktop environment, or have you ever tried to make a portable system with a VM before? You can see it just works. But again, make sure to check everything before you do this install, as if you do select the wrong drive or if you kind of pass through the wrong thing, it may break. So obviously check everything that you need, configure your drive. And again, if you are doing a manual install, I have a few videos on those, so I'll link them in the top or maybe in the description below to kind of help you guys. So if you guys want to do a manual install, and again the process is not much different. Okay, so here's something that is causing me issues in the newer Arc script. So this is why the whole reason I say that not to trust the main Arc installer, because it may break. So doing a manual install is probably the best, but yeah, this is the issue that I am encountering. So I have to do this all over again, and by all over I mean, yeah, I have a cheat code for this. In case this does happen, what I like to do is just kind of install it, a minimal install, and then go from there. So again, this configuration, everything back, systemd change it to grub, host name, whatever, root password, user account, confirm and exit, profile, and in here I'll just put minimal because yeah, that's great. Audio, I'll just get pipewire because we will need it either way. Kernels, Linux LTS, we need this. Network configuration, network manager, additional packages, I'll get network manager. For now I'll just do a simple install just to get this over with. Yeah, just do network manager. We can install the rest later. Install, yes. So there you go, it got installed finally. Now I want to do this, chroot into the system, and I will do a bit more configuration in here. First of all, I want to do systemctl enable what is it? Oh, network manager, that is done. I think it got enabled, and also here I have to install the desktop environment. I'll go with KDE. It's not KDE, it's plasma-meta. I'll get this, and I'll get SDDM, I'll get console, I'll get Dolphin. Again, just to keep things light, so I don't want too many things. Also, I'll get Firefox because we need a browser, and that should be about it. So let me just do this. Wow, that's 800 megabytes, sure. Okay, so now system is installed, and all I should have to do is systemctl enable SDDM, and that should be it. So let us reboot the system and first do a sanity check if this even boots up. So we can do before doing I think I should do shutdown first, mostly because I need to disconnect the ISO so it doesn't boot into the ISO again. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to do now. There we go. So let me just go to settings and then storage, and then I can just remove this. It looks so cursed to see SATA in a USB type device, but whatever. Let me just boot into it, and it should boot into the system. So let's see. Fingers crossed, and let's hope for the best. Okay. We are booting. That's great. Okay, let's log in. Okay, so it is booting up. So our system is working, and now I just have to test if this works in an actual system, like a hardware level system. Let me just change the resolution first. Okay, there you go. Confirm. Now the system is installed. Now moment of truth, I will unplug this and plug it into an actual system. So I'll shut this down. And I don't know how I'll record this because I don't have an actual good device that can show you the videos. So let's see. Let me just disconnect it from my PC. As you can see, it is connected. So I'll just put this on and where is the 7? There you go. I'll do a 7. So here's the boot menu. You can see right here. And if I just and then just boot into this, it should boot into the system we just created. So as you can see, it is getting booted into, and pardon the quality again, I'm doing this on a first generation iPad because my phone is busted AF. So I do need a new phone, so make sure to support me on my Patreon to help me do that. It's getting pretty desperate, but okay. And let me just show you, this does have the logo. It's just way bad camera, so you can just log in and this should boot into KDE. There we go, and that's it. We have our system, it is booted in, and now we can use it. And as you can see, it automatically supports the trackpad and everything that it needs to support. And if you just open up Firefox, not Firefox, yeah, this is pretty hard to see, but as you can see, it does work. So thank you for watching this long into the video. And if you want a full setup tour, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on the Patreon. So that's all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.